1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. I'm Brittany.
And I'm Ricky.
And we are
Paper Screen.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about our top 5 movies for what?
Top 5 snow day movies to watch in the dead of winter.
Yeah. Okay, so before we get into our top 5, just wanted to mention a couple books and authors just since this episode's coming out the week of Thanksgiving. So these are books by Native American writers or indigenous. So these are ones that I've read. Winter Counts by David Heska Wanbli Weiden. It's a thriller, vigilante, kind of like Batman, like a problem solver. It's so good. I would highly recommend it. I don't want to give away too much, but it's excellent. The author, South Dakota, and Rosebud Indian Reservation in South Dakota. But he's a lawyer in real life. This is, I think, his first novel. Pretty neat. And then another one that I have not read yet, but I have, Night on the Living Res by Morgan Talty. It's contemporary fiction and it's a collection of short stories. I don't think it's like horror genre, but I was hoping it was because of the title, Yeah. But yeah, that's another good one. And all these books have like great reviews. So my next one is Future Home of the Living God by Louise Erdrich. She's like a very renowned author. This is actually like not one of her higher rated books, but it's like the one I like the most from what I've read. Mm-hmm. It's like a just kind of like near future dystopian, like, I guess thriller. And she's from Minnesota, which is really cool.
Oh, cool. Shout out to Minnesota.
She's born in Little Falls and Ojibwe descent. And then she also, if her name sounds familiar, you've probably heard of The Night Watchman, which came out in 2020. It's like purple and green striped cover. And then also she is one called The Sentence that came out last year, 2021. But I haven't read any of those. But yeah, those are just like some books I thought I'd mention because I don't really have any books I'm reading right now that I, Anyway.
Nice.
Let's get into it.
And now
back to our discussion. Okay, we're going to now talk about our top 5.
Yes.
Starting with number 5. Ricky, what do you got?
My number 5 is Krampus.
Ooh, yes.
This is a mixture of horror and holiday. And, if you're like into Christmas themed horror movies, like this is definitely like the one. It's tamed because it's PG-13, but it's like still scary, still fun. And it has Tony Collette in it. And
I forgot.
What's his name? Adam Scott.
Yeah.
So he's in it. So basically like this kid, his family is like kind of dysfunctional and like his relatives are like kind of hicks. So they all like hang out for Christmas and basically it's just like chaos. This boy, like he's not really in the Christmas spirit anymore. And like, because, Krampus is originated from Germany. Mm-hmm. This family is German. German descent. Basically, like this kid like doesn't have the Christmas spirit anymore, and then pretty much summons Krampus to come and torture his family. And they're like stuck in this house on Christmas. There's like the storm, and then like Krampus is coming around. Anyways, it's fun. It's like in the style of like Gremlins. Yeah.
What do you remember? What Krampus's like whole thing is? Is it like if you're ungrateful or?
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah, I got a bit to German in me, but what's interesting, I have more Czech, and there's like in Czech there's one like folklore. It's just straight up the devil for naughty kids. The devil will just take you.
Nice.
I know. A little bit more hardcore than Krampus.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Well, Krampus is like he's meant to scare children. If you're like
scare you into submission, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Brittany,
what's your number 5?
So my number 5 is Snowpiercer. This came out in 2019. Or no, I'm sorry. No, it didn't.
That's a TV show, right?
The TV show I think came out in 2020, but no, okay. Snowpiercer, the film, not to be mistaken for the TV show. This was directed by Bong Joon-ho. You've probably heard of him. Huge Korean director. He won an Oscar for Parasite in 2019,
Yes.
which is like what made him like a household name. If you haven't seen that movie, definitely see it.
I love that movie.
It'll break your fucking heart. It's like, so
Yeah.
but it's really good. Anyway, so yeah, Snowpiercer's just like it's an adaptation from a graphic novel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like it's a really neat, unique story, you know, another dystopian where it's just people on a train and the world is basically just like a big ice cube.
Yeah.
And the train's going super fast and it can never stop. And that's kind of how they're surviving.
Yeah.
And the train there's like a caste system. So it's kind of the story of like,
it's kind of like classism.
yeah, exactly. So there's people that, you know, they're living a very lavish lifestyle, and like the closer you get to the captain, the better you live. And then the people in the very back are like, I mean,
The peasants.
they're peasants and they're eating something.
Oh yeah.
Tragic.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So yeah, that's mine. I think it's really fun to watch on a snow day just because like they're literally snowed in as well.
Tilda Swinton's in that, right?
She is.
And then Chris Evans is like the main character, right?
Yeah, and actually, if you've seen this movie and you want to, and Octavia Spencer, she's like, oh yeah. And then I think who's the guy? It's like not Woody Harrelson, but it's the guy who like has the same vibe. Ed
Harris.
Ed Harris, yes.
Is it?
Yeah, I think he's like the
Ed Harris is like old.
the captain. Yeah, right. I'm pretty sure it's Ed Harris, but if you've seen the film or like the film or whatever, YouTube Snowpiercer, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, because that's a fun hole to go down.
Is it like
It's like
a mashup?
No, it's this whole breakdown of like how Snowpiercer is
Basically Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
yeah, like it's pretty neat.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but
Okay.
yeah. So, what's your number 4?
Okay, don't laugh at me. My number 4 is The Holiday.
I mean, I knew you were gonna have it on your list.
Shut up. Okay. So the reason why The Holiday is on my number 4 is because I have a thing for rom-coms, and especially if it's like Christmas time, it's like the perfect thing. And you know, I've never been into like the Hallmark movies, and I'm not a fan of Love Actually, so The Holiday is like my Love Actually. And because Cameron Diaz's character, she owns this like movie advertising company,
Right.
And that is like my dream job. And also because it has references to like old Hollywood. And also Kate Winslet is so charming and adorable in this movie, especially because I love her in Titanic.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah. And just like there's the storyline of like Kate Winslet and this old man, she like tries to take him to this like, it's like a commemoration for this old man because he worked in Hollywood. And he was like, I don't want to go because like no one's gonna remember me.
Yeah.
But then he shows up and there are like all these people that are like there
Right.
for him. So Kate Winslet is like walking him down the aisle and it's like playing this
Yeah.
beautiful music. And that's the other thing. The music is actually composed by Hans Zimmer, who did the score. And the score in this film is fantastic. It's like pre-Inception and Dark Knight era.
Right.
Like, it's just fantastic. And it's just like super cute. You know, Jude Law is like hot too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my number 4.
Love it. And like when she's in England, it's like the whole like cottage.
Yeah, I love the cottage vibes.
Yeah, it's so cute. It's like so cozy. It's like what I want for winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when she goes to the store to like get all this wine, and the cashier's like, "Oh, are you having a party?" And she's like drinking. She's like, "Yep."
What was her thing? Was she just like overwhelmed and having a nervous breakdown, like needed a break, or did she
She was going through a breakup with some
okay.
guy that cheated on her. Basically, she wanted to get away from LA because she's been working so much. You know, the holidays is like really busy for like movies.
And holidays is like that's a lonely time, especially if you've had a breakup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's a solid choice, and I knew it was going to be on there. All right, my number 4 is the Grand Budapest
Oh, I didn't know
hotel.
that was like a snowy movie.
Yeah, well, it's in a like made up fictional country, but you could, I mean, it's obviously like got to be somewhere close to like Austria and Germany, but yeah, it's like very like ski resort hotel vibes. I put that on here because it's awesome. I think it's the best time to watch it. This did win Best Picture in 2015. I think that's the only time he's won Best Picture, but he's Wes Anderson. I didn't say that. But he's won a few for screenwriting and for animation. But yeah, anyway, when I talk about, because Wes Anderson's one of my favorite filmmakers, and when I talk about his collection, like what's my favorite and stuff, like I always refer to the Grand Budapest as his masterpiece. But it's not my favorite, you know, because I think I have, like, just because I've had more time with like Rushmore, you know, and the Tenenbaums and like Life Aquatic, like those are the ones like I want to watch. Grand Budapest, I mean, and it's great, it's like super funny, whatever, but it's also like incredibly like sad. Like the character Zero, like when you get his background and everything, it's like really fucking sad. And I mean, and Wes Anderson's really good at also like weaving in his own way, touching on humanity, if you will.
Cute.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. So that was Anthony Revolori's like first. That was like his big break.
Is he the?
He's Zero.
Bellman?
Yeah.
Oh, his name is Zero.
Yeah, in the movie, it's his character's name. And Zero Mustafa, and yeah, you probably seen him if you've seen any of the new Peter Parkers, because he's like Peter's bully.
Yeah.
And he's in The Servant on Apple TV. He's like the sous chef.
Okay, I hear a lot about that show, and I
have
need
you
to
not
watch
watched it?
No, because I don't have Apple TV.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Apple TV Plus or whatever it's called.
Yeah, okay, makes sense.
But I will watch. And I'm not gonna lie, I have not seen a Wes Anderson movie.
Not a single one.
I've only seen clips, and I'm like, okay,
we have to do an episode.
Yeah, we will. We'll do the Grand Budapest, because I had that on my list.
Okay, yeah.
And maybe Royal Tenenbaums.
Yeah.
Because like, who's that?
Gwen. Luke.
Who's that?
Oh, Angelica Houston.
Yeah,
we love her.
Legend.
Absolute legend, yeah. She's in a lot of his films.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. What's your number 3?
Okay, so my number 3 is Edward Scissorhands.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, because this movie is a combination of like fairy tale and like Christmas, and Johnny Depp is like really good in this, and so is Winona Ryder, and like not much of this movie takes place in the winter, but at the end it does take place like around Christmas. And you know, there's this scene that I really love is like when he's like making that ice sculpture and it's like snowing, and like Winona Ryder's like kind of dancing in the snow, and I always love that scene. And Danny Elfman's score is like really pretty. I'd say it's like one of the better like Tim Burton movies.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I mean, Edward Scissorhands is an iconic look.
Yeah.
Like people like dress up for him like Halloween, so yeah, it's magical.
It's like a cult classic. I was gonna say something like it's a big influence. Yeah,
I mean, it's not like super like gothic like how like Tim Burton's movies are now,
right?
But I think it was like kind of the start of his style.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of what made it stand out, was like the contrast of like that pastel-y, happy like suburb. And then he's like,
don't worry, darling.
Yeah. Then he shows up and he's like, you know, in like kind of gimp outfit.
Yeah. Oh my God. Totally. It's like giving BDSM.
Yeah, it is.
Leather vibes.
Yeah. What was he? Was he like an experimental baby or something?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. But I know he like, I think, isn't it like, doesn't it open on like snowflakes and like.
Yeah, it's kind of, well, like Winona Ryder, she's like old. No.
Oh.
She's telling a story to her grandchildren.
Oh shit.
And then it goes to like, she like talks about like the snow and like, do you want to know how the snow is made? And it's like, it's coming from that castle.
Yeah, that's very fairy tale. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
All right.
What's yours?
My number 3, Balto.
Oh my God.
Directed by Simon Wells and Phil Weinstein, of no relation to Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, so if you're not familiar, or if you need a refresher, it's about this dog, Wolf, named Balto, and he's based on a real dog who has a statue put up in Central Park, and is also his like taxidermied body is at the Cleveland Museum of Natural History. But he basically just like helped save a bunch of people's lives because he was able to like be a sled dog during an epidemic. In Alaska. So I love that movie. It was like one of those like cartoons I just watched a lot, and like I think it holds up, and it's just cool, and like the wolves in it are like super cool, you know?
Yeah. Love that for you. Balto, 5 stars.
Yeah. That's just good.
Cute. My number 2 is Gremlins.
Oh, yay. Yeah.
Obviously, like, this is kind of adjacent to Krampus. It's a holiday themed horror movie. Well, it's not really horror. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's very tamed. It's more comedy though, just because like it's wild, and like if you haven't seen this movie, you need to check it out. But basically, it's got this little furry animal that's like a Furby, but they call it a Mogwai, Gizmo. And he's like super cute. He's a Mogwai, and he sings. So I love this movie because it's just like really cute, but then it turns into like this like monster movie.
Yeah.
And it's just like really crazy. But one of the scenes that stuck out to me was when like, so there's like a lady that's on this like this chair that's like an elevator that goes up the stairs, and it just like goes out of control, and she like flies. I think like the Mogwais or the Gremlins like mess with it and basically haywires, and just she flies out the window. It's like so mean and so funny at the same time.
Yeah, they're a really interesting like villain entity.
Yeah, there's just a lot of like campiness to it, and I think it's fun. So
very camp.
Number 2.
Excellent choice. My number 2 is one of my all-time favorite movies, and I have a lot of I collect memorabilia from it, but it is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, directed by Larry Roemer and Kaizo Nagashima. 1964. It's like claymation or whatever. Yeah, it's got Sam the Snowman narrating, voiced by Burl Ives.
Who's Sam the Snowman?
Well, he's not Frosty the Snowman. Oh. He's Sam the Snowman. He's got this little, he kind of looks like the Pringles, but he wears like a green plaid. Yeah. And he'll just kind of check in. Yeah, kind of give you some guidance. But yeah, I just love it because like it's super nostalgic, obviously, but like they're really cute. Like I love like the style. I love Yukon Cornelius, and like when he's like licks his pick, and like the Island of Misfit Toys. I just think it's like a really solid, like awesome movie, and I could like stare at the reindeer all day. Like I love them.
I don't remember much from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Just because, like, I think as a kid, like, those type of movies, like, scared me because it was claymation.
Yeah. I could see that. that. They're definitely nothing like a Disney.
Was it black and white, or is it in color?
It's in color, but it's like, you can tell it's old.
Yeah.
Have you seen like original Gumby?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like
that's
that.
Why it scares me, because Gumby is scary.
Gumby's scary. I mean, I like Gumby, but Gumby's for sure scary.
Yeah.
But I wanted to mention something that I thought was kind of neat. So I'm like kind of not great about like checking credits on film sometimes.
Yeah.
So, but like with Rudolph, I was like, oh yeah, who like made this, And that's what I said, Larry and Kaizo. But what's interesting is, so I was like, who is like Kaizo? Like, I've never heard of this person, like, whatever. So this is what I read upon another person with the last name Goldstein did this research, and they were saying that Kaizo Nagashima was an elderly gentleman who supervised the business affairs of the Tokyo studio. Perhaps due to Japanese traditions of respect, he was given a prominent creative credit, director. However, the credit for director should really go to Torihiro Mokinaga. That's another gentleman, and they've made a lot of stop motion films and worked at Mom Studio in Tokyo, or MOM.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just I just thought that was super neat. So it's like because of like this like honor system, like they weren't really credited, but like they were the actual like director. So pretty neat. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
You're like boring.
Okay. Number 1.
Number 1.
Oh, my number 1 is Home Alone.
Oh fuck yeah.
Because I watch it every holiday. It's like a childhood favorite movie. If you have not seen it, it's very sad if you haven't.
Yeah.
It's like a classic.
So good.
But what I like about this movie is that like it is kind of like cat and mouse themed. Like some of the traps, there's like booby traps and stuff in this movie that are very like no one would survive this. Right. And it's just so extra and it's fun. The fact that like this little kid is the one that's like setting up these booby traps, it's like kind of unrealistic, but also like who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
It's like watching Tom and Jerry.
Oh yeah, totally. That's a really good.
Like,
yeah.
Except there's like 2 Jerrys.
Right.
Or wait, is Tom the whatever?
I think Tom's the cat and Jerry's the mouse.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But yeah, I love it and I watch it every year.
It's like it's got so many classic, iconic. The screaming and then his mom like, "Where's Kevin?"
Yeah.
And all the booby trap stuff. So good. One of the funniest parts is when one of the booby traps is like they get electrocuted.
Yeah.
And the guy's getting electrocuted and then it literally just turns into like one of those like decorative skeletons. So good. And did you know that when he's like oh barf, Buzz's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Do you know that that's Buzz? It's Buzz just like dressed up as a girl in the picture.
Oh.
It's like that same actor.
Oh my God, I did not notice that.
Yeah, I've never noticed, but I saw something and it was like showing that and I was like, oh, how funny.
Oh my God. So like Disney Plus came out with like a remake or something. I was like,
you can't remake that.
Yeah, I was like, who thought this was a good idea?
Yeah, because they'd probably like not think it was appropriate. So they probably had to like water it down.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is one of those things as you get older, you're like even like when the burglars slip on the ice.
And yeah.
I'm like, they would be like in the hospital. Like,
okay, the part where like they climb up the stair or they go up the stairs and like the canisters of paint like fly down, they would die.
They would die.
There is, their face would be smushed.
And, like previously mentioned, if you turned into a skeleton while you're getting like electrocuted, there's no coming back from that.
Yeah.
My number 1 is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Another classic.
Yeah. Directed by Jeremiah Chechik, I think, but it's written by John Hughes.
Yeah.
Again, didn't know. Yeah, I just like love this one because I have literally been watching it like every Christmas since my conception, as far as I'm aware. And one side of my family is the Griswold, like our name is the Griswolds. It's just like kind of fun. And I just think it like really embodies like middle class Christmases. You know what I mean? Like, because it's kind of like it's about like the Chevy Chase's character is like waiting for his bonus, and then he doesn't get it.
Yeah,
and it's like I don't know, and I love like the comedy in it, like Uncle Eddie showing up, like he's so funny, and like there's like things in that movie that are so like ingrained in my memory, like the little mug-shaped mugs full of eggnog, the Christmas tree part. They're like nasty grandparent or great aunt and uncle or whoever they are. I say nasty because they're supposed to be nasty. And then like him trying to get the lights on, and then Elaine from Seinfeld lives next door, and like all these things are affecting her and her partner, and it's like I don't know, everything about it's like so. Oh, and then what's that chick's name? Julie. Yeah,
Juliette Lewis. She plays the daughter, right?
Yeah, like she's in it, and like it's just great. And it was when Chevy Chase wasn't I mean, I'm sure he was still problematic, but
a racist,
right? Yeah, it was like back when his image hadn't been diminished, or when he wasn't acting like a jerk racist. But yeah, I love that one. I'm gonna watch it this year.
Circling back to Krampus, like that movie is, I think Christmas Vacation had some influence.
I could see that.
Yeah. Or inspiration.
Yeah. Kind of like the horror Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, because aren't there relatives like kind of like rednecks?
Well, yeah, Uncle Eddie, they show up in an RV.
And it's, that's like Krampus in Krampus.
It's what's the guy? He's like an actual conspiracy theorist. Oh, he's the dad in Mars Attacks. But yeah, they're like very redneck. And he like doesn't really want his cousin Eddie showing up, but they show up and like they kind of give off like the freeloader vibes. Yeah, and then like I think the older people who show up just kind of show up, I think.
Randy Quaid.
Yes. But yeah, I love that one.
So, honorable mention. So my honorable mention is The Chronicles of Narnia.
Ooh.
It's not a Christmas movie or anything, but it does take place in like winter because they go through the closet or the wardrobe, and basically it's like winter there, and like the little girl meets James McAvoy.
Templeton, or no? Is that his name?
No, it's Mr. Tumnus.
Yeah, Mr. Tumlin.
Mr. Tumnus. And like there's this part where they have like tea and like Danish cookies or whatever. It's like really creepy, but
yeah, kind of bad vibes.
It's very like predatory.
Yeah,
but also like Tilda Swinton's in this, and she's like the Snow Queen or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like, she just looks like super evil.
Yeah, she's like perfectly casted in this.
Yeah, I mean, she's always playing these like characters,
right? Yeah, because Snowpiercer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when the boy gets on her? I think it's the boy. The youngest boy gets on her carriage and she offers him a Turkish delight.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Dude, it looks so good. And like I have found Turkish, and I've actually bought some Turkish delights, and they don't look like what hers look like, and they don't
taste like what you imagined.
Yeah, a lot of times they're like rose, and I hate rose.
Oh ew.
I hate rose. I can't do it.
Who eats rose?
I think it's big in like the Middle East or like
honestly
Persian food.
No, I've had rose flavored
yogurt.
No, what are they called? Macaroons.
Macaroon. Oh sure. Yep.
And I was like, oh, interesting. Why did I get those?
Yeah,
tastes like shit.
It to me, yeah, it's kind of soapy or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because like it's not something we ate earlier in our life. Because I have a friend who's like Persian and they like it. But yeah. So my honorable mention is
enough with JLo.
For real.
Misery.
No.
The Shining. Child's Play. Child's Play is a Christmas movie.
I know it is. What was that Mackenzie Davis one on Hulu? I like that a lot.
Oh, with Happiest Season or something?
Yes, Happiest Season.
That is a cute one.
It was cute, and I feel like I haven't seen like like a romantic comedy Christmassy movie that I've liked, because the year prior or the year after was like Last Christmas.
Yeah.
Which I never saw, but I know how that movie turns out.
Yeah.
Cringe.
Well, like, okay, Happiest Season, that's like a gay rom-com, pretty much.
Yeah.
Just holiday season. Yeah, I like that movie. Although I felt bad for like Kristen Stewart.
Yeah. It's kind of about like shame and, like bringing your girlfriend home to meet the family. But then you find out like she's not really calling her girlfriend because her parents are like influential people and like all this dumb shit.
And they're pretty much like Republican, Christian.
Yeah.
I'm not talking politics, but that's what the movie is.
Yeah. Like very... conservative, wealthy, like judgmental. And yeah, her
Aubrey Plaza, right?
Aubrey Plaza has a cameo, yeah. But no, Alison Brie plays one of the sisters, and she's kind of the sister with like a stick up her ass. And then I think her husband's cheating on her.
Mm-hmm.
I think yeah. And then the other sister.
Yeah, I've seen her and stuff, but like I just remember she was like the quiet one or like the quirky one.
Kind of quirky and an artist, I believe.
Yeah, she was very creative, and I think the parents were like kind of treating her differently just because she was like
dismissive,
special.
kind of. Yeah. So I really liked it because I like love Mackenzie Davis and Kristen Stewart, and like I think they had great chemistry. And yeah, it was just it's just like cute having like a new Christmassy movie, and like I like how it started, like just the city setting. Like, does it take place in New York or Philly? It's like one of those types, or Boston.
Yeah.
Like
Boston.
Yeah.
Probably.
Something like that. Like it just had like, it was just cute. And like, you know who directed it?
Chloe Duvall, right?
I think so. She was in
or Clea Duvall.
Yes, she was in Girl Interrupted.
The Faculty.
The Faculty. Yeah, she was like, if you like, she was like in a lot of like late 90s, early millennium movies. But she is, a queer filmmaker, and
I'm like happy for her. Just because like I feel like she isn't recognized as being an actress a lot. Like she doesn't have that much work.
Right.
But her turning into a filmmaker, I think that's like more her thing.
Exactly. I'm sure that's what she wants to do more so. And like, I think I think in our lifetime, just like thinking about how we grew up, you know, in our society to now, like it's pretty dope, you know, just that growth. And, you know, and it's one of those things where just like any other cute rom-com Christmassy movie, I'm gonna give that my honorable mention.
Love that for you.
Thanks.
Well, that concludes our top 5 snow day movies to watch in the dead of winter. Well, thanks for listening. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
We hope you guys have a fantastic day of gratitude. Friendsgiving. I do the Friendsgiving. Mostly safe travels if you're traveling. And be careful, you know, stuffing your face. Make sure you're eating heart healthy.
Yeah. And on that note, bye.
Bye.